right, man, let's talk about Taylor Decker. It's probably time to put old Yellow down. He's always on the injury list, and to be honest, I think he's steady. He was an upgrade from Jeff Backus. I believe you watching this video, you would have been an upgrade from Jeff Backus, but I just think, he was a guy that they liked in the organization. He was a glue guy who's been here since the shitty times, but he ain't that great of a left tackle. He's steady. He's above average. He's a B minus-ish. He lacks in the run game. I mean, he's a solid left tackle. That's what I will say. He's a really solid left tackle, but it's nothing phenomenal. But when he's gone, his presence is missed. But he's been battling these injuries, and I know when you lose for that many years and you turn it around, you wanna play and win, right? Frank Ragnow felt like he knew when to fold him. And a lot of, you go through those injuries, beat yourself up. You got to understand, even though guys play this game, you might see them smiling. Everybody don't love football. They do it as a means. You got to understand, most occupations that men do, they don't love what they do. Even you look at the NBA. A lot of those guys got one of the greatest jobs in the world. And a lot of them don't want to play. They're not happy in their situation. They make millions and millions of dollars, and I don't want to be here, so they drag their feet, which, in that scenario, any other average American would be smiling, grinning to be in that scenario. They would play in Memphis. They would play in Vancouver. They would play in Singapore if they was getting that amount of money. But what I think a lot of people don't understand, and even some men don't understand this, these young Gen Xers, what they don't understand is this. It's your duty as a man to work. It's your duty to do things that you don't want to do. That's part of the job description, fellas. We sacrifice and do things we don't want to do to survive, so our families can survive. You know what I'm saying? That's just that's part of the job description. And what was it, the Bronx Tale that he told his son? He said, it was really gangster. I think it was the Bronx Tale. I'm paraphrasing. He said, it was really gangster is a man that goes to a job that he hates every day to feed his family. That's what's really gangster. And that is what's really gangster. Don't forget it. If you're depressed, you're going through something, put some music on. But the number one thing to do is get to working. Get to brainstorming your plan. Get to creating a vision board. Get to writing down your goals. Get to things you want to accomplish. Start accomplishing those things. Start, building that plan. And once you start working towards that goal, that depression will go away. But back to Taylor Decker. Yeah, it's time for them to find an heir apparent. I know they thought Manu Giovanni would be it, but he can't stay healthy. That man he got a lick of muscle on him neither. That's the crazy thing about it. Yeah, fuck is he doing in the gym? But, maybe that's his body type, but he's a superior athlete. I remember they were talking about, he's going to be a guard. I said, man, you traded all them assets for a guard. I said, and he's just tremendous athlete. It sounded like to me, he the left tackle of the future. So, when Decker out, he played bad, but it wasn't bad versus Cincinnati. The thing is, it bit him in the ass again, an injury bug. He got injured. So a guy that could be getting valuable snaps at left tackle, spilling Decker here and there and keeping him fresh for a playoff run, you know what I'm saying, is like he can't stay healthy neither. So these valuable snaps that he can be getting in practice, first team reps at left tackle and valuable snaps in the game as he should get better and better with more intel and the more reps and experience that he get, you can't even bank on him. You can't even bank on him. So that's it. You can't even bank on old buddy. But that's life. So even your backup plan ain't ready. And maybe Decker, stays one more season, but at some point, how much pain and he play with? Like I said, it's hard to find a good left tackle. So another season, you hope you get Manu Giovanni up to speed. And if you can get him up to speed, it could be a seamless transition. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't an easy position to play. You make a mistake, you can put Jared Goff on a stretcher. But for Decker, that time is winding down. Was there some limitations there? Yeah, but was it a lot of, what you're going to get there? Yes. You know, he can't run block that well, but you know what? He's a solid pass blocker. Stiff, but he's solid. You know, he's not as fluid as a Trenton Williams or guys like that, but he's solid. You know what you're gonna get, consistent. You know, sometimes you need those players that make up your team. They know what they need to do. They consistent. Why are you swerving? Boy, oh boy. Consistent, and you just steady. You know, steady players. That's what you love, steady guys. So, but yeah, at some point, it's the final countdown on Taylor Decker. He knows it. We know it. You know, so hopefully, you know, they got a plan in place, you know, to get a left tackle in there, because right now, if he walk away after this season and they gonna go with Manu Giovanni, the thing is they got a lot to catch him up to speed with. It's been a perfect season for him to bump his head a little bit, learn a bit, get better and better, and for them to assess where he at. But once again, he can't stay healthy. It's just a growing theme of guys that Brad Holmes is handpicking that can't stay healthy. Yeah, they might have a grit mentality, but they don't have the grit durability. And he's done strategic things to help the team move on. Like to really prepare for turnover. He drafted countless offensive linemen. He drafted receivers. You know what I'm saying? He drafted tight end. I mean, he's done countless things to help the Lions move on. And with this turnover, obviously he felt like he took Taylor Decker's heir apparent and Manu Giovanni. No, Miles Frazier, Tate Rallis to fill the guard positions and the center positions. You know, he's done a lot of good things with turning over the roster. You know? So, even at the linebacker position, he's done a great job. Jack Campbell taking the middle linebacker responsibilities from Alex Anzalone. Get Derek Barnes. We got Malcolm Rodrigo. You know, he's done a great job of being prepared to move on from players. So, you know, obviously, you know, we'll see what happens and how it lays and how it plays. But he's done a phenomenal job of preparing for what's next. You know, and people say, well, he knew Frank was going to leave for years. And then, you know, and maybe he did. I mean, we all knew it was coming to an end. He knew he had Graham Glasgow. That's why he took Tate Rallis. Tate Rallis was groomed to be a center at Georgia. Took a lot of reps at center in practice at Georgia. They knew what they was getting. They talked to the coaches, and was he smart enough? Was he this? They understood what they did, and that's why they took Miles Frazier. So I'm gonna tell you what the plan was with that. The plan was for Tate to kick the center next year, similar to Ragnar, play right guard, kick the center. Miles Frazier kicked to the right guard, and that was gonna be an offensive line right then and there. Graham Glasgow knew it was coming to an end. He knew it. He understood it. So that was the plan. But then you get Miles Frazier, once again, can't stay healthy. Maybe we keep Graham Glasgow around a year. Don't forget, Mahogany was the same thing. Couldn't stay healthy. Therefore, Zypher got the position at the end of the year. Zypher got injured. Mahogany came and played well. So injuries really was holding this roster back. The hand-picking of injury-prone players, all right? But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. That subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Increase your chance to get notifications when we go live and drop video. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist for more videos like this. Peace.